Hi, for those of you that I haven't met, I'm Troy Wright. I'm the Assistant General Secretary of the PSA, and we just wanted to get some information out to our members in the disability sector about what's been happening in the last few months and what our plan is going forward. I guess over the last few months, as you know, the department formerly known as ADIC has broken up a lot like the Soviet Union has, and it's moved into a number of other employees and another number of smaller employees, larger employees, and geographically all broken up. As we predicted, one of the employees straight out of the blocks challenged whether the CPSU could be your union. You would have seen updates about that. That led to court proceedings in December, and in March, a decision by the Fair Work Commission in our favour. So at this point, or not at this point, but for ongoing from here, I can proudly say that CPSU will be your union and is your union and will be your union for as far as we can foresee. And we're very proud to be filling that role. Since the transfer, the main work we've been concentrating on is firstly trying to build a relationship, and particularly in light of that decision. I think a lot of our work was on hold as a lot of the employees waited to see whether we would be involved in the sector. We've been trying to build relationships now with the various employees and meeting in consultative committees, establishing consultative committees, introducing ourselves and our delegates. We have been closely monitoring conditions of employment for members across the state with all different employers that have been muddled in the transfer. And when I said earlier it's been broken up like the Soviet Union, that analogy is very true, because we seem to have a really differing quality, differing competency, and a differing preparedness of the different employers to take you on. And many of you watching this video will be well aware that some of the employers have been very able to take you and absorb you into their organisations very quickly, and others haven't been. And so a lot of our work has been concentrating on those employees that haven't been as prepared and making sure they're aware of what your award is and what it is going forward. Talking then about what happens in the future months and years, I want you to know that we're going to continue to campaign for a disability safety net. We still think that's vital. We still believe that ADIC has a function. ADIC is still there in some capacity, still preserving and still providing services for some areas that haven't been transferred yet. And we hope that it continues to be there and now continues to expand again as the holes in the sector are found out. And more importantly for you, though, moving forward, what our main purpose will be and our main focus will be is looking at the period post the 2-year employment guarantee. And I need to be very clear about this because I know there's a lot of confusion out in the field about this. You have 2 rights at the moment. Well, you have more than 2 rights, but 2 very important rights. Number 1 is that the government and your new employer promised you that they would not touch your conditions of employment for at least 2 years, and you would be continued to be employed if you're a permanent staff member for at least 2 years. A lot of people are very concerned what happens after that 2 years. I need to point out there's a second tier of rights that are very, very relevant. The Fair Work Act says a person transferred from the state public sector to private sector employment, just as you have been now, is guaranteed their current award conditions, so your state award conditions, for up to 5 years. And it only stops before 5 years if you choose to replace it. And the way you would choose to replace it is through enterprise bargaining. Whether or not the CPSU participates in enterprise bargaining with the different employers will come down to a variety of factors. Whether they want to do it, whether we want to do it, who's involved. And if it does happen, it's a long and slow process. But what you need to know is you'll be involved as a member of the CPSU if your employer starts enterprise bargaining at every step of the way, and there is no way in enterprise bargaining we will accept an agreement, and there's no way we would ask you to accept an agreement that is inferior to the current employment conditions you enjoy. So the only way that we foresee moving forward after the 2-year employment guarantee expires that your employment conditions will change is through enterprise bargaining, which you will be fully involved in and fully informed of throughout. So I know there's a lot of concern out there in the field about what happens post 2 years. Let me assure you that nothing will occur without your full knowledge and consent. And we'll take our time and we'll see what each employer wants to do, and it'll be a variety of approaches across the state. Can I also finally add that I know there's a lot of issues in the field about transfer, about conditions being accepted, conditions being recognised, conditions being put in place. If you have a concern about any of your terms and conditions of employment with your current employer, please let us know. Don't assume we have heard it. Please let us know. So the best way to let us know is through our MSC, our Member Support Centre, and the number is 1300 772 679. So if you have a question about any of your conditions of employment, you're not sure, something's changed since you were with ADEC and you're now thinking, hang on, that doesn't sound right, I thought I had this, I thought I had that, please give us a ring, let us know what's going on. We should be able to provide you with an answer on the spot, and if we can't, we'll have someone else follow it up for you. But don't assume we know. We'd really like to hear from you, and we need to keep track of all of those issues. So again, that's where we're at the moment. That's where we see ourselves going forward. I want to keep communicating with you all and let you know what's happening. Let us know what's happening. And thanks again for your support as a union member. We are moving into a time of enterprise bargaining where union membership, solidarity and sticking together as a collective is more important than ever.